We back, bringing you a level 7 Gigas team with my updated Gigas 1 through 6 team as well. I've been testing some stuff and trying things out here and there, and personally, I like these teams so far. So starting off with the disclaimers. Yada yada, not a co-op main, casual when it comes to co-op. Please don't pull out the pitchforks and torches when this isn't the best team for this. I do, however, want to shout out Equilin Togo for the neat Harab tech you're going to see me use in the level 7 team. It was really cool seeing this in action. Without further ado, level 7 Gigas. Here's the team, so let's see it in action. So to start off with, this boss mechanics have changed at 7. For whatever reason, B-Side decided to change it up on us, switch it up a little. So now everything's a lot harder. The ulti can actually one-shot a lot of your team. There's 2 walls that get deployed instead. For whatever reason on the ulti, they decided that it needs to dispel shields and then do a lot of damage. But if you use Undispellable Shield, you can block one of the hits, making it to where your units will survive. I have this currently timed out so that it procs right before the ulti goes off, and you'll see that Linjian just barely lives here. Supports are going to do a good job getting her back up to full health. And then now we have to worry about the hit check. This hit check, you need to hit it a lot. And I try to time Maria's ulti with Orochi, Ifrit, Dorothy, ASY, all my other units, and Sinjia to try and make the hit check, but I just couldn't find a way to do it. So we're just going to ignore all that, use Harab, steal the 2 walls, and then just hit the boss in his face. Now, I don't know what exactly is causing it, but this boss decides that he's going to change the timings on things. So the second hit check that pops up, Harab may or may not be able to steal the walls. Luckily in this run she does, and we're able to sit there and pass the hit check just fine. She really only needs to steal 1 because you have enough hits to get through at least 1 wall, and I believe if you deploy something on the right side it actually splits up the wall, so you only have to deal with 1 at this level. Higher levels you'll still have to deal with 2, but we're only on 7 right now. Then you have a second shield or second ulti that you have to deal with, which happened a little earlier, but you use a Hilde to sit there and drop since she gives it Undispellable Shield too. Now you do have the DP and the timing that you could sit there and do a 3rd shield with a Sigma to block the 3rd ulti, but honestly I just didn't bother with it because I'd rather just buff my main DPSs at this point. They don't die that easily, and I tested both, and it really didn't seem to make that much of a difference shielding my entire team. Everybody who's important is supposed to live. Everybody who's not kind of just dies off. And that's fine. We're just trying to squeeze out as much damage as possible. There is a 4th ulti, but it happens in like the last 3 seconds, so we don't really care about that at that point. This boss would probably be a lot easier on manual than auto, or at least you'd be able to get a lot more damage out. But we're auto gamers here. As you can see, Soyun doing some juicy damage there. Maria with her late deploy actually doing a good amount as well. And then everybody else and their little bit to nothing damage. Almost 11 mil there. It's not bad. The gear I used. So basic CDR with the Challenger hands. Just a regular HP tank gear. Shinatsu, I had to make some a Yuna tanky gear kind of for her, as well as Lin Jian. You want tank, actual ground res, CDR gear. Sinjia on your best support, CDR gear. So Yoon on Britta A speed with range damage. Hurrying on just whatever damage you could put him on. Attack works, attack speed, cooldown. Replacer Queen on CDR gear. Now Harab, I tried cooldown various amounts, 60, 67, 72, 76, and it seemed that all the timings were not consistent to steal both the walls. I got the most consistency out of running her on actual attack speed with CDR on it, but I kind of want to run her on attack speed tank because I feel like there were a few runs she died in, so she couldn't steal the second wall. But if you don't steal the second set of walls, that's okay because you can recover from that point. You can't recover from the first ulti right after the hit check, but since there's not one after the second walls, then good to go. You can usually get your team back up to full health. Sinjia's gear, I just put her on whatever I could afford. This isn't really good gear for her, but it is what it is. Hilde doesn't need this type of tank gear. The Alternium Reactor is a plus here. Not needed, but it's very helpful. Dorothy on A speed gear. She's just there for the buff. But it's nice if she procs it again. Shinatsu on your best CDR gear you can afford. You want her ulting and specialing as much as possible. Sky Layfield I have on CDR gear. Whatever I could afford. Same with Soyun. Could put her on tank gear to try and make her last a little longer, but I don't think it really matters. She just kind of dies. And then Maria on CDR gear. Wanted her ulti as much as possible. Use skills. Quad is the ship that I use. Imhana is not the operator. Sigma is. Want those shields. For my Gigas 1 through 6 team updated. See, I've changed up a few things, added Sigma in, got Choi Ji-hoon in there for some extra damage for my Rangers and Snipers, moved some things around, but overall, I feel like this is a bit more optimized, and we can sit there and see it in action. Now, this is only on a level 1 with no buffs. When I was testing this on 6, I did have a maxed arena. I think it was arena 12. And it was doing about 30 plus mil on a good run, but they really like to make this fight weird for some reason with the different timings on different things changing up every now and again. So, but it seems to be consistent all the way up until the first ulti normally. But yeah, we're just, for this, the Alternium Reactor is kind of not needed, but man, is it really good, in my opinion. Those shields that she's applying on everybody that's being deployed, just stay on them. They stay on them until they get used, until the boss hits them and takes it away. So all your snipers that are sitting back here in the back, they don't lose that shield, and they're just protected. Like, you'll see Zhao Lin here, just chilling with a nice little shield. It's wonderful. But it's not necessarily needed. It's just most of these units will survive until you get to maybe like 5 or 6. If they get touched, as long as they don't get crit, they'll probably be fine without the Alternium Reactor. So it's not really needed. But yeah, everybody coming out. Choi Ji-hoon coming through, buffing up your people in the back line here. Hit checks being made. Just your standard Gigas beatdown. really think I could push for 30 seconds here if I improve my gear a bit more. I finished a little before 30 seconds. But depending on what arenas you get, this will definitely, the time will definitely be a lot better. This is just with no buffs. As we see here, Kyrian is a monster, doing more than Soyun, but obviously not more than Soyun and her rifles. And he's not even a counter. Not even getting the buff from the ship. Gear here is pretty much going to be relatively the same as the other gear for level 7, but Sigma is going to be on skill haste as much as possible. Alternating reactor, definitely a plus here. Tank gear, only one line of anti-ground for 110 Hilde, 2 for like level 100. A unit gear for Lin Jian. Boss isn't trying to completely murder all your support, so you can actually afford to not run as much tank gear on Chinatsu. Then Gia on the support CDR gear. Same thing as before, damage gear. Soyun, A speed preferred. Attack for Kyrian. Or just whatever you can afford for damage. Whatever on Sinjia that has ground damage. Shaolin on attack. Crit damage also helps. Attack bullets, fine. Got Layfield on some CDR gear. Dash, I changed my mind and liked her on cooldown better than before where I had her on attack speed. Placer Queen on CDR damage gear. Maria on challenger hands with CDR. Choi Jun could be on whatever you want him to be. I just happen to have him on an A speed. He does no damage. Dorothy on attack speed. Want her applying her buff as much as possible. Soyun on CDR gear, so she pops out some specials as much as possible during the fight. And then Enterprise Quad for the ship. And Kim Hana for the operator. Attack speed or crit damage. All the Gigas one can hope for in a single video. I hope this helps everyone get their season rewards easier. Remember to do your arenas. I probably won't be making another guide on this unless something game breaking is discovered or a new unit that makes this boss just way easier comes out. If you have any questions for me, feel free to drop a comment, or you can find me on Discord. I'll have a link in the description. See you all next time.